It's the last home game of 2023 for the University of Delaware. Or is it? The Blue Hens coming into today at 5-0 in the CAAs, the only remaining undefeated team in the conference. A win today would put the Blue Hens all but certainly to host the CAA tournament here at Delaware Stadium, May 4th and 6th. On the other side, the Drexel Dragons can play spoiler. A win today would put the Dragons in the driver's seat as the Drexel University has to win these last two games to host the CAAs themselves. The two rivals, separated by just about 45 minutes, come together here at Delaware Stadium for the final home game of the Blue Hens regular season on Military Appreciation Day. It's coming up right here on Lacrosse TV. Thank you for joining us here on a Saturday afternoon, a gorgeous Saturday in April in Delaware. It's 73 degrees, some clouds overhead, sun peeking out right now as the Blue Hens and the Dragons are about to go to battle to determine who hosts these CAAs in 2023. My name is Matt Popelka, and we are ready to roll with the men's lacrosse on Lacrosse TV. We head to the center circle, and we are just about ready to kick things off. And we are underway from Delaware Stadium as Drexel wins the draw. And we'll start off with possession as Justin Joseph, the graduate transfer from Long Island University, bests the faceoff man for the Blue Hens, Logan Premtaj. And the Dragons get the first crack at things offensively for a team coming into today at 7-4 overall. They are 4-1 in the CAAs. That loss coming in their last game at home against Hofstra. 8-7 was the final in that low-scoring affair, as the Dragons were unable to get the win and remain undefeated and keep pace with the Blue Hens. And now they have an opportunity to take down the Blue Hens and give them their first loss of the season. That shot wide from way up top. That's coming down to the stick of Luke Tomac, the redshirt sophomore out of Connecticut. And they are on the board first. The Dragons strike, and they lead 1-0 just about a minute into the contest. Right out of the break, the Dragons strike first as they beat the starting keeper today for the Blue Hens, Matt Kilkeary. Coming from behind the cage, just a tough angle, and somehow Sean Donnelly, the junior out of Florida, was able to beat one of the CAA's best as a violation coming against Justin Joseph and the Dragons leads to a win for the Blue Hens as they have an opportunity now to tie things up. And we see the vaunted Blue Hens offense for the first time today. Averaging nearly 15 goals a game are the Blue Hens. They've upped that in conference play to nearly 16. And they're outscoring their CAA opponents by double digits on average. Here's J.P. Ward, one of the best in the nation, as he hits the side of the post on his first shot attempt of the game. And J.P. Ward, a first-team all-conference selection last year, well on his way to another first-team selection, misses on his first opportunity. And the Dragons do clear with a long stick. And now get it over to Connor Hooley, the freshman out of Minnesota. So the Dragons at 7-4 overall, traded wins and losses through their first 6 games of the season. That last win started a 5-game win streak that looked like the Dragons were going to be in driving position, as them and the Blue Hens were the last remaining teams, both at 4-0 going into last weekend's. But like I mentioned, Drexel dropped the game against Hofstra. The Blue Hens took care of Stony Brook on the road. That shot wide out of the stick of Max Semple, as the sophomore from British Columbia fires wide, second on the team thus far with 21 goals on this season. Drexel back to work offensively. Double team comes from Owen Grant. He forces another turnover, and the Blue Hens come away with it. Owen Grant, two-time All-American, two-time CAA Defensive Player of the Year, coming into today with 25 caused turnovers on this season. Always one of the best in the Colonial to do it, and he causes another one on that play as he came over just in time on the double team to force the turnover as the Blue Hens have another crack at things offensively. First time around, it was J.P. Ward who took the shot, and he hit the side of the post, and now he goes to work again. A long stick on him, backs it down, double team comes. Ward still trying to find a way out of it, and they swing it around. It's a short stick on Ryar Shell, who's seen more action in his sophomore season, and he's on the board for the Blue Hens, who tie things up. The fourth goal in conference play for Shell, and the sophomore from Baltimore ties it up at 1. Simply just beat his defender one-on-one. And now we head back to the face-off circle. And if there's one spot of the Delaware game where they haven't really been dominating this season, it is right here in the face-off circle between the duo of Logan Premtaj and Roland Hockenberry. Blue Hens are just about even overall. Coming into today, they had won 159 face-offs. Their opponents had won 160. So just about dead even coming into today. Drexel, on the other hand, had won 56% of their face-offs, the majority of them coming from Justin Joseph, who has 2 of the 3 today. Hooley going to work, the freshman, working on a short stick at the moment. He's forced out by Jason Sider, playing in his 62nd career game. Now it's Sean Curcio. As he gives it up, the Dragons swing it behind the cage. Coming up top now with Jack Mulcahy. That's out of the stick, but taken back. Tomac with it again. He gets rid of it. Now the Dragons can work with an extra man. Passed inside, shot is wide. And Johnny on the spot coming back is Joe Spears, and the junior from Illinois wins possession for the Blue Hens. So they went risky, did the Blue Hens, with a double team well out wide. Dragons unable to take advantage of the opportunity. Now the Blue Hens have their first crack at trying to get the lead. We're all tied at 1 apiece so far. Blue Hens swing it around to the far side. There's Ward. Got a long stick on him, as he should. Double team with 2 long sticks comes to Ward. Trying to find a way out of it. He passes it off. Now the Blue Hens looking to take advantage from behind the net. They swing it. Shot coming from distance. And Nick Jessen will finish it off, and the Blue Hens take the lead with 9:12 left in this first quarter. Jessen from distance, his 12th goal of this season. He now has 4 goals and 4 assists in his last 6 games. Justin Joseph doing a nice job trying to hold off Premtaj. And the 3 players in the middle do battle, and Justin Joseph comes out with the win again. Joseph at LIU last year had 11 games where he won at least 10 double 10 face-offs of the season. Had a season-high 22 this year against Lafayette. As that one sneaks through, and Kilcarry is beat for the second time, and the Dragons tie it up with 8.5 left in the first quarter. That one just squeezed through Kilcarry. He's going to want that one back. Coming into today, Kilcarry is one of the best in the CAAs. At 9-3 on the season, he owned an 8.47 goals against average, second best in the nation. That is goals number 100 and 101 allowed on the season by Kilcarry. And now this is his 13th game of the season. Premtaj almost had it with one hand. Instead, coming forward is Spears with a long stick. And Spears has made a couple of great plays, being Johnny on the spot. Now the Blue Hens going to settle back into their offense. J.P. Ward, Ty Kurtz, the known men for the Blue Hens offensively, as Kohler comes forward with a lot of speed as he gives it up. Ward gets a screen from Robinson, who really has become the forgotten man after he missed 4 games with an injury. That one's off the post and wide. And I should mention the starting keeper today for Drexel is Ross Blumenthal, the senior out of Baltimore. Coming into today, 6-3 overall with an 11.53 goals against average. And he owns a .522 save percentage on the season. Penalty coming up against Luke Carden, the long stick defender for Drexel. So a delayed minute penalty against the Dragons. So a man-up opportunity for the Blue Hens. And they convert on nearly half of their opportunities, 17 goals on their man-up opportunities and 36 opportunities total. Drexel, meanwhile, defensively has given up 10 goals working from a man down. Blue Hens swing it, looking for options. Come up top now to Ty Kurtz. Long distance effort, too wide. Kept with the Blue Hens by the freshman Brendan Powers. Powers to Robinson. Robinson lets it rip, and it's saved by Blumenthal. And that will allow the Dragons to eat up this next 15 seconds of being a man down. And the Dragons will take advantage with possession and burn up the clock. As Blumenthal has his second save of the afternoon. This is his 5th game against the Blue Hens in his career. 1-3 all-time is Blumenthal, the only win coming back in 2021 when he allowed 9 goals and had 12 saves. Tough pass to catch, and another caused turnover. And now he's motoring the other way. That's Owen Grant, the long stick. Looking for options, gives it up. That shot is blocked in front. And we're racing back the other way. Tomac up ahead now with Curcio. And Wisely, the junior out of Pennsylvania, is going to slow things down with the Blue Hens having 6 players back. And the Dragons still looking to change and get their offense in order. 6-minute mark to play, first quarter tied at 2. The 15th ranked Delaware Blue Hens trying to move on to 6-0 in conference play and essentially lock up the hosting spots. Instead, Drexel takes the lead again. The Dragons are still battling for potential hosting opportunities, and they're on top 3-2. Drexel just winning these one-on-one battles as Ben Scandon finishes off the attempt, his 4th goal of the season. The freshman from Allentown, Pennsylvania, puts the Dragons on top. Premtaj and Justin Joseph go back to work. Premtaj will win this battle. And Premtaj was injured at the beginning of this season for the Blue Hens. He missed the first 8 games as Roland Hockenberry stepped up and won just about 51% of his opportunities. It was 111 of 218 on this season. His previous 3 seasons, he had won 99 total face-off opportunities, so he took advantage as that one is saved on a leg shot from Blumenthal, who got down low. And the senior makes another save. Cleared with the long stick for the Dragons of Brennan Greenwald, who's making his 45th straight starts in a Dragons uniform. Drexel on top 3-2. Trying to get back into the win column. Had a 5-game win streak snapped in their last contest against Hofstra as Grant forces Casey Waller backwards. That pass is going to be knocked down in front, and Grant does it again. There he goes, crossing midfield. He'll pass it off. Owen Grant's on a bit of a hot streak. He's got 7 points in his last 6 games. As he'll now make way for the attackers to get going. Ryar Shell again with the ball. Shell with 1 goal today. We'll give it up to the freshman Brendan Powers. And the Blue Hens tie it up. Powers finds the back of the net, just taking it himself. The son of the former lacrosse great Randy Powers, who was just passed on the all-time list by Ty Kurtz. So Brendan will score to tie things up, and Justin Joseph will win the next draw control, rather check that next face-off, I should say, getting my men's and women's lacrosse terms mixed up there. 3 apiece as we approach the 3-minute mark left in this first quarter. Drexel has answered every punch Delaware has thrown. That pass tough to handle and almost didn't. Augustine picks it back up and pressured by Grant. Dragons swing it across. Now with Jack Joyner, the freshman out of Hershey, Pennsylvania. Joyner stutter steps, trying to shake his defender, hits the turf and loses it. And it's taken right back. Here come the Dragons on a bit of a rush. And it's slowed up. And the transition game, Dragons not able to take advantage, and probably a wise decision to slow things up. The Blue Hens still had all their defenders back on this half of the field. Okay, he gives it up and gets it right back. The senior out of Chester Springs, Pennsylvania. Top 20 in Drexel history with 138 career points coming into today. His 10th all-time with 67 assists. He goes to work, and they score, and Drexel's back on top. It looked like Zach Augustine. He now has 7 goals on the season, a points now in 9. 9 points, rather, I should say, in the last 6 games. So Drexel on top, minute 58 left first quarter. As Justin Joseph and Logan Premtaj do battle in the middle of the fields. Premtaj is going to come up with it. So neither side really dominating in the face-off circle so far today. Robinson with it currently. Jason Kohler bringing it down into the zone. He's got a short stick on him at the moment. He's going to take advantage of it. Blocked in front and taken away. The Dragons have now blocked a couple of shots before it gets to the keeper, Blumenthal. They've held the high-scoring Blue Hens offense to just 3 goals in this first quarter. And now a chance. With the game clock under a minute, the shot clock just hit 60 seconds, so Drexel could hold for the last shot and try and take a 2-goal advantage going into the second quarter. Mulcahy gives it back up top to Casey Waller, the graduate student out of Ellicott City, Maryland. Waller trying to shake his defender, attracts a second. Gives it up to Tomac. Tomac hits the turf, gets up, loses it, and the Blue Hens come away with it. They have 20 seconds left. On the move now is Sider with 14. Sider drops it off to Robinson with 10. The ball's on the deck. Picked up by the Dragons. They force it up ahead. Picked off by Grant. He fires long distance, blocked in front, and the chaos ends with the final horn of the first quarter. Back and forth we go. Drexel on top 4-3 at the end of one. Take a break. Second quarter of action coming up. We got a good one here from Delaware Stadium right here on Lacrosse TV. 4-3 this score right here on Lacrosse TV. As we head to the second quarter of action, Drexel on top of Delaware. The winner today essentially puts themselves in the driver's seat to host the CAAs. Blue Hens 5-0 so far this season in conference play. A win today would essentially lock up the spot as Justin Joseph and Drexel wins the face-off to begin the second quarter. The Dragons at 4-1. Lost their first conference game in last weekend's affair against Hofstra, but a win today would put them at 5-1, essentially quote-unquote tied with the Blue Hens, but because Drexel would have the win over Delaware, they would be in first place and would potentially host. Right now, the Dragons being outshot by the Blue Hens 10-7. Delaware has put 6 of those 10 on frame, but it's been Ross Blumenthal, who's made 3 great saves and has also been helped out by his defenders in front of him, who have blocked at least 2 shots before it even reaches him. That's a shot in front. Kilkiri has his first save of the game. That came from some distance. And the 6th man out of Lake Sherwood, California, makes the most of the opportunity to find one in his nets. As the Blue Hens now have an opportunity to tie things up early on in this second quarter. A lot of space given to Clay Miller as he passes it off. Spinning move from Ward behind the nets. Shoots and scores! J.P. Ward, who came into today first in the conference with 35 assists on the season, takes it all by himself as he took on Colin Gukwa, and the sophomore defender could not handle one of the best in the nation and putting points on the board. Ward second on Delaware and second in the conference with 59 points coming into today. scores to tie things up a minute and a half into the second quarter. Premtaj and Justin Joseph do battle again. And Justin Joseph wins the battle, loses possession. But Drexel's there to back him up. And they will eventually pick it up deep in their own corner. And they have some work to do to clear it. They do get it across just in time. Drexel 84% clear rate. Not a great percentage, but they've been perfect thus far. Tomac with it. He's going to let it rip from distance. Not a lot of juice on the shot as it goes wide. And Connor Hooley will pick it up. They get it over to Hooley, leading Delaware or Drexel freshman with 12 goals and 15 points on the season. That one's sent backwards. Winding up and letting it rip is Luke Tomac, and Drexel goes on top once again. Tomac took a shot at the ends and was able to sneak it past Kilcury, who's probably going to want to have that one back. That's now a couple of shots that Kilcury has really gotten a piece of, but hasn't been able to stop it just yet. And Drexel right now with 5 goals and not even a quarter and a half. They're coming up on the average that the Blue Hens allow in the season in conference play. Blue Hens averaging 16 goals per game and allowing just 6 goals in their CAA games. Right now, Drexel taking advantage of their opportunities. Call coming against the Dragons, and the Blue Hens are on the move. Now with Ty Kurtz, Delaware's all-time program leader in points scored and goals, and subsequently also the CAA's leader in both of those categories. Was named to the Tewaaraton Award watch list. 25 men and 25 women lacrosse players in the nation given that award. That'll be whittled down to 5 later on in May as Clay Miller ties it up at 5. Coming down the far side hash marks, defender a step too late to get over to Miller as he scores his 16th of the season. And neither side has been able to stretch out an advantage more than one. That's a win for Premtaj. Premtaj is off the crossbar. Oh, no. Oh, face-off, get-off. Premtaj thought he had one in the bag. And the junior out of New Jersey almost put the Blue Hens on top just like that. Now the Blue Hens can go back to work as they fire it out towards midfield. Kohler with it, passed inside. That is one of the Acciones. That's Cam Accione. There's Mike Robinson. Shakes one defender, passed inside. Accione couldn't hold it. And picked up by Jessen. Jessen around a defender, passes it off. Now with J.P. Ward, he's got 12 seconds on the timer. Ward with 10. Ward still not in a good spot. He's going to go around the nets. Ward looking for something. He's got 2 seconds. Doesn't realize the time. He shoots. It's saved in front. And they're going to say it continues. Passed inside. Saved again. That one's off the post. And now Drexel comes away with it. And the Dragons were in a bit of a jam there. It looked like one of the defenders had actually left the field. And it didn't look like he was injured or had a broken stick. It sounded like the horn for the shot clock had gone off before the shot was taken and saved by J.P. Ward. And that is what head coach Brian Volker is discussing with the officials at the moment. Hands up, palms up to the sky. What is the call? He's saying, I heard the horn go off before the shot was taken. So how can he give possession to the Blue Hens, who had the rebound after? The officials are not having it with Volker, who came into this season with 100 career wins at the helm of the Drexel Dragons. He's been there for now 14 seasons, as he is looking to lead his squad back to the CAAs, a spot they were in last year. And now they are at 4-1, are the Dragons on this season in 2023. Right now, the Blue Hens are the only squad that has clinched a spot in the CAA tournaments. Drexel, with a win today, would do so in the same realm. And right now, the Blue Hens on a hot streak, as you can see by our fantastic graphics crew with a fire emoji next to their 4-game win streak showing on this screen. The last loss coming on March 19th at Johns Hopkins, a 12-10 finish, as that was one of the 3 non-conference losses for the Blue Hens. All very close games that the Blue Hens had opportunities to either take the lead or had the lead in the second half of those contests, but they were unable to finish it off. A 13-12 loss against Villanova, 16-12 loss against Michigan, and that loss against Johns Hopkins. Those are the 3 blemishes on the Blue Hens' record thus far. And really, those 3 teams are either at the top of their conferences and or potentially could reach the NCAA tournament. They got to take care of the Dragons here today. Drexel looking for some revenge. Last year, the Blue Hens defeated them twice, including in the CAA semifinals. In a game the Blue Hens really just dominated, as that one is saved in front. Kilcarry got a piece of it. 2 players go diving, maximum effort. That's Zach Augustine and the defender Jason Sider, and both know how important each possession is. And that's a turnover by the Dragons. A little sloppy behind the net. And the Blue Hens once again have an opportunity to take the lead. That's a bad misplay from the redshirt senior Sider, and it's a giveaway. Connor McVicker now being hounded by the long stick of Kevin Lynch. Now coming forward is Mulcahy as he fires it off. Mulcahy, one of the preseason selections in the CAA this season. One of 2 players for Drexel selected to the preseason team. He was a all-CAA preseason selection. Pat Udovich, one of the defenders for the Drexel Dragons, was an honorable mention. Drexel, a 3rd place prediction in the preseason poll. Mulcahy, the offensive player of the year selection in the preseason poll as well. He currently leads the Dragons with 29 points. First on the squad with 14 assists. 15 seconds to work with. Tomac shoots, it goes wide. It'll stay with the Dragons, though, who have 12 seconds. Now with Max Semple, sophomore out of British Columbia. He's got a long stick on him. Semple looking for options, gives it up. Last second effort goes wide. And the Dragons are just going to let this one roll. A shot clock violation against the visitors. Passed up ahead and taken by Aiden Fritz. Splits a double team. Lost possession but stayed on top of things as he cleared it and passed it off to J.P. Ward. Blue Hens offensively averaging 15 goals a game, giving up just 8.5 coming into today, but already 5 scored by Drexel in this first half. Kilcarry has only made 2 saves thus far. Ward with a short stick on him. Really banging bodies with Connor McVicker. Double team comes. He passed it off. Long distance effort save from Blumenthal. It goes straight up into the air. And it's going to be kept alive by Mike Robinson. I was mentioning earlier, Robinson's really become the forgotten man in the trio up top for the Blue Hens. And that's saying something after he was one of the top scorers in the CAA last year with 53 goals and nearly 70 total points. But he got injured in the Mount St. Mary's game, missed 3 games in between. And right now just has 28 total points. Ward tried to pass it off with one hand inside, didn't quite make it to his target, and it's a turnover from the Blue Hens. Long distance pass, too far, picked off. Here comes Owen Grant. Grant's off to Miller, inside, and that one is misplayed by Mike Robinson, something you don't see too often from the senior out of Ontario. Still a battle. One of the Delaware players hits the deck, and finally whistles will blow, and a holding call against the Drexel Dragons. Ty Kurtz with possession at the moment for the Blue Hens. He gives it off now to his running mate, Clay Miller. Started the first 2 games of the season, as that is a turnover from Miller. And now the Dragons back the other way. It had been of a stalemate at the moment. Just 3 goals scored by the 2 sides in this second quarter as both defenses have really ramped it up. 10 total caused turnovers between the 2 sides, 6 forced by the Blue Hens, including 4 thus far from Owen Grant today. It is shaping up to be one of those kind of games for Owen Grant in his Blue Hens defense. Gave up some early goals, 4 in that first quarter. But Kilcarry's now starting to see the ball. Owen Grant is doing things like this. A little poke job. And he scoops it and passes it off. Owen Grant doing everything today. To the offense it goes. That pass was mishandled inside. And Reed Kurtz was trying to do something special. Picked off by the Blue Hens at midfield. And a whistle as a late flag was thrown. And it will be a penalty against the Blue Hens. And I believe it's Owen Grant in the sin bin. So a man-up opportunity now for the Dragons. Blue Hens had one of those opportunities earlier, didn't take advantage of it. Drexel now with a shot as Owen Grant is in the penalty box for a minute. And Drexel, with about 4 minutes left before halftime, can take a 6-5 lead with a goal here. That one is knocked down in front, kept alive initially. And now it will be to the Blue Hens. As that is picked up by Harrison Ewing. He'll clear it for Delaware, who now have to eat up another 25 seconds of Owen Grant's penalty time. I was going to say Drexel, 11 man-up goals on this season. Delaware has only given up 4 in now 30 opportunities. Their defense has been a calling card under head coach Ben DeLuca. As the time ticks down, Owen Grant is released. He's replaced on the field. And it'll be a timeout from the Blue Hens. 5-5 this score with 3:21 to play before halftime. Both defenses have really stepped up as of late. After 7 goals in the first quarter, there have been just 3 in this second quarter as Delaware calls their first timeout of this first half. As we take a look at the last timeout for both sides, the Blue Hens took down Stony Brook on the road. That's a big thing to do, having to go up to Long Island, sit on the LIE in that New York traffic. But they took down the Seawolves 12-9 and clinched the CAA tournament berth for the second year in a row. For the Blue Hens, they're trying to make it back-to-back champs in the CAAs, as Drexel, meanwhile, we had mentioned, lost to Hofstra at home, snapping the Dragons' 5-game win streak as they were trying to keep pace with the Blue Hens in the CAAs. Right now, the Dragons, though, not out of it just yet, even with that loss. A win today would put the Dragons back on top of the conference and would allow them to host the CAAs potentially. They would also have to win next week as well. But we have not seen a goal for either side since Clay Miller tied the game at 5 over 8 minutes ago. It's been a lot of defense as the Blue Hens go back to work offensively. Both sides about even on shots. Delaware has put 11 on frame. Drexel has put 7. Here's Ward with the long stick on him. He's going to shoot. It goes up high and kept alive. Ward with a goal so far today. No one's gotten multiple points for the Blue Hens so far. That's going to find the back of the nets. And there we have our first multi-point scorer for the Blue Hens. It's Jason Kohler, as he scores his 7th goal in the last 4 games. And he shot that right in front of Blumenthal, who couldn't get down in time. And Delaware takes just their 2nd lead of the game. They're on top 6-5 as Premtaj and Joseph go back into the face-off circle. Premtaj had squeezed it initially. It's going to pop out to this near side. Still on the deck. Was initially picked up by the long stick of Joe Spears. Late penalty coming. And who's it going to be on? A push. I believe it's going to go against the Blue Hens. No, it will be against Drexel. Push coming against Luke Carden. And this will be the 2nd time Carden is in the penalty box today. So the redshirt freshman has made a couple of rookie mistakes. Just 30 seconds on the man-up opportunity for the Blue Hens. They're going to take advantage, though. Backdoor. It's Cam Accione knocking for a 2-goal advantage. The Blue Hen take advantage of going a man up. They're now 1 for 2 on the day, as Cam Accione starting for the 11th straight game for the Blue Hens. Now has his 3rd goal in his last 3 games, and this is his 3rd man-up goal of the season. Drexel wins the ensuing face-off. As Liam Kamar will pass it off and will make way. As Mulcahy will hold possession, now gives it up to Tomac. Redshirt sophomore missed all of 2022 with an injury. It's good to see him back on the field. His pass misplayed by Mulcahy. Blue Hens almost couldn't pick it up. Now it's scooped up. It's the long stick of Tate Wasson, as Wasson will make way. The Blue Hens defense stepping up in a big way. 90 seconds before halftime. Blue Hens can not quite hold for the last shot. Accione's going to do it himself. Save from Blumenthal. Scooped up in a deep corner by Ben Scandone. And I believe a late penalty coming against the Blue Hens as the Dragons are on the move back the other way. Passed up top, and he lost it on the shot, and a late flag again, as Nick Jessen was back defensively. And I believe there are 2 flags. There's one on the far sideline in the out-of-bounds area. That was for when the Dragons picked up possession. And now here's the one on the near side. That is going to be Nick Jessen taking the brunt force of that hit. And he'll take the call as well. So right now, it's going to be a 2-man advantage for the Drexel Dragons, as Mike Robinson also picked up a penalty as well. So he'll be in for 30 seconds. And they gave the penalty to J.P. Ward, but I thought it was Nick Jessen, number 4. Who made the hit on this defensive end of things. So Robinson into the sin bin for 30 seconds. And yes, indeed, Nick Jessen is going to be charged with a minute for his unnecessary roughness hit at the very end of things. So 45 seconds left before halftime. 2-man advantage for the Drexel Dragons. And this kind of feels like a must-score opportunity for the Dragons, trailing by 2. This is the first time this game that either side has had a 2-goal advantage. This is also the first time that either side has had a 2-man advantage. So the Blue Hens, 4 defenders out on the fields. And this crowd full of Blue Hens today, Fandemonium outside the stadium, attracting a lot of people out on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. A nice breeze blowing overhead, 75 degrees outside. This is pretty much picture-perfect weather for an outdoor lacrosse game. So 4 defenders out for the Blue Hens with Kilkiri in nets. It's 4 long sticks as they go into a box formation right in front of their nets. We'll see how they operate being down 2 players. Drexel circling around the outside, circling their prey, looking for options, trying to take advantage of any kind of opening to the far side. That pass is dropped but kept alive by Tomac. Passed inside, it gets passed, and they're going to say it deflected, and it'll stay with the Dragons as the penalty for Mike Robinson is done, so still a man advantage for the Dragons. They have 5 seconds left in the quarter, and they are just going to eat this time, and they're going to have 16 seconds left to start the second half with possession and with another man-up opportunity. But the Blue Hens, they put 4 on the board in the second quarter. They held the Dragons to just 1 goal, and they are on top 7-5 going into halftime here at home, looking to remain undefeated and clinch the hosting rights in the CAAs. Once again, 7-5, Delaware on top of Drexel. We'll take a break. You're watching Lacrosse TV. 7-5, your halftime score. Delaware on top of Drexel with the winner today, putting themselves into position to host the 2023 CAA tournaments coming up on May 4th and 6th. Right now at halftime, both sides just about even in every statistical category except for that big one right there on the second line, shots on goal. Delaware doubling up, Drexel 14-7, forcing 7 saves from Ross Blumenthal as the Blue Hens have been a little better when it comes to putting their shots on frame and has led to this 7-5 lead here at halftime. You're watching Lacrosse TV. My name is Matt Papalka, and the second half is a minute away from commencing. Delaware led right now by J.P. Ward's 2 points, a goal, and an assist. Jason Kohler with the same stat line. A little bit more efficient with 2 shots for Kohler versus Ward's 5. Accioni with a late goal on the man-up advantage gave the Blue Hens that 7-5 lead as they have had 7 different goal scorers have the Blue Hens. Scandone with 2 goals for the Dragons. He's leading the way offensively for Drexel, who had 1 goal at the 12:20 mark in the second quarter, I should say. That was by Luke Tomac, and that put the Drexel Dragons up 5-4. But since then, the Dragons have had nada, nil, zilch, nothing. But they will start out with a man-up advantage and possession for the final 16 seconds of the penalty against Nick Jessen as we are underway, second half of action from Delaware Stadium. Blue Hens and Dragons on Lacrosse TV. To the near side, Tomac, he's going to let her rip, and he splits the legs of Kilkiri. And that is how you start off the second half if you're the Dragons, getting one on the board early. Calmly worked themselves into a good shooting position. Tomac with his second goal of the afternoon to go along with a couple of ground balls. And we head back to the face-off circle. The referees giving a stern talking to between Justin Joseph for Drexel and Logan Premtash for the Blue Hens. Premtash looked like he had it pinned down. Instead, it's come poked away by the long stick of Patrick Gillen. Drexel comes away with it overall. Looking for options is Brennan Greenwald. He lofts it up ahead and taken by Tomac, the goal scorer. Tomac looking to tie it up, and his shot is wide. Luke Tomac really feeling it now. A goal to begin this second half, and let her rip just wide of the cage on that attempt. Nice feed off the double team. That is tied it up. Jack Mulcahy, the leading scorer for the Dragons coming into today, finds the back of the nets, and we're tied at 7, just over a minute into the second half. Mulcahy's second goal of the afternoon. He now has at least 2 points in 6 of his last 7 games, as the senior from Chester Springs, Pennsylvania, is really starting to heat up at the end of the season. Violation coming against Justin Joseph, and so the Blue Hens will win and take possession. 2 goals in a minute and 3 seconds by the Dragons, has tied it up after they scored just 1 goal in the second quarter total. So first time we've seen the Blue Hens on offense in this second half. Cam Accioni taking a couple of whacks. Lost possession. That ball's going to be out of play. Referees come together. It'll stay with the Blue Hens. It's a great defensive effort from Patrick Udovich, who almost forced a complete turnover. Here comes the other way, and Kohler scores again. His second goal of the afternoon. And it looked like all the momentum was going to Drexel. Almost first turnover by Udovich. Stays with the Blue Hens. And Jason Kohler finishes it off as he got past his defender Kamar and was able to beat Blumenthal once again. Premtaj called for a false start on that face-off, so Drexel will take advantage. Blumenthal with 7 saves on 15 shots. Kilkerry just 2 saves on 9 shots, so not sharp from the redshirt senior, who normally is. Double team, Owen Grant coming forwards. They swing it to the far side. Waller, around a second defender, passed it off. Donnelly takes a tough angled shot. Kilkerry had it covered. The Florida native thought he was going to sneak one past Kilkerry. 30 seconds, still plenty of time left on the shot clock if you're the Dragons. Hooley's going to shoot. It gets past and off the side of the cage. No reset, though. Now with Waller to the far side it goes. Hitting the deck, staying alive, Scandone. He's got 2 goals today. Gets a late whistle. And right now, the Dragons can take advantage as they shoot forward. Kilkerry makes the easy save. And they're going to say a hold against the Blue Hens. And that is going to be a man-up opportunity for the Dragons. Harrison Ewing called for the holding. senior from Maryland, will sit for 30 seconds. So another opportunity, man up. Drexel 1 for 3 thus far in these kind of opportunities. Scored to open up the second half, being a man up. Long distance effort, and Kilcarry is beats, and we are tied again. A left-handed stick shot from Curcio found the back of the net. As Drexel takes advantage of the man-up opportunity to tie it up once again, a spot we've been in numerous times today. Violation against the Dragons on that face-off opportunity. So the Blue Hens go back to work offensively. Season high 19 goals in a win against Hampton on April 1st. That took down the Pirates, the first time CAA members here in 2023, 19-1. Ward trying to get a one-handed shot off, couldn't finish it. Still alive for Robinson. Robinson will score. Mike Robinson in his senior season not having the season you'd like if it's your last opportunity as a collegiate player. Missed 3 games with an injury, but he's back in action and he's helping out as he's able to avoid a couple of players, sidestepped to third, and then in close quarters was able to beat Ross Blumenthal. As we have a player down on the field for Drexel. That is the sophomore defender, Colin Gukwa, who's being worked out by the Drexel athletic trainer on the field at the moment. 14th goal of this season for Mike Robinson, as he came into today 5th all-time in Delaware history with 129 goals scored in his illustrious career. His teammate Ty Kurtz sits on top of the Delaware scoring list with 166 goals coming into today, as Gukwa is able to walk off the field under his own power. Gukwa making his 12th start in his sophomore campaign for Drexel, second on the team with 23 ground balls. First on the team with 11 caused turnovers coming into today. As we are back under action, Delaware on top 9-8. Premtash is going to win the faceoff. The first faceoff that's been clean from either side, I believe, in this second half. Started off with Drexel in the man-up opportunity from the first half. So they started with possession. Now the Blue Hens going to work again on the offense. That's saved in front. Blumenthal, who makes yet another save. That's his 8th of the game. When he makes 10-plus saves in a game this season, he usually helps his squad to a win. Another save from Blumenthal. Drexel is 6-2. In the 8 games, Blumenthal has made at least 10 saves. Drexel gets it across on the clear, and it's given right back. Blue Hens on the move. Robinson, options on the backside. They find him, and they take advantage with a goal from Jason Sider. A turnover in the midfield from the Dragons. leads to a Mike Robinson fast break. Sider streaking down the far side, and he's in on the back door with his third goal of this season, as Robinson has assist number 13. And just filling in on the right lanes on the fast break is step number 1. Step number 2 is catching. And step number 3 is finishing off the attempt. Great move from Justin Joseph to win the face-off. He's going to come forward with it. Joseph around the defender. Justin Joseph shoots high and wide. And it's turned over. Oh, Drexel is not happy about that. And I'm actually a little surprised it didn't go to the Dragons, because it looked like Joseph had a shot attempt that just went high. And I believe in the official's eyes, perhaps he did not see it as a shot attempt. It's a turnover from the Dragons. Now the Blue Hens can try and work for a 3-goal advantage. They're up 2 right now. Time for the largest lead of the game for the Blue Hens. Ward taking a brunt of the force from the long stick, attracts a double team, spins out of it, Blumenthal save, doesn't get the second. It's Robinson. Every ball is bouncing the way of the Blue Hens, and they are on top 11-8, and they are that much closer to finishing off the Dragons, remaining undefeated, and moving on to host the CAAs. The double team on JP Ward did not do it. 2 long stick collided with each other. Blumenthal had the original save. Robinson finished it off. He has 15 goals on this season. And where would this Blue Hens team be if Mike Robinson did not get hurt in the second game of the season on the road at Mount St. Mary's? Robinson would miss St. John's, Villanova, and Michigan. Came back in the game against UMBC. And so with Robinson in the lineup, the Blue Hens only have 1 loss on the season. Was not there for the Villanova or Michigan games. And JP Ward and Ty Kurtz have really stepped it up. They are the highest scoring teammates in the NCAA this year. Ward coming into today with 59 points, Kurtz with 65. Both are top 10 in the NCAA, and they're the only teammates to score at least 50 points each this season. Blue Hens looking for their 10th win of this season, which would be 3 straight 10-plus win seasons. First time they've been able to do that since 2007. Drexel, on the other hand, at 8 and would move to 8-4 with a win today. And they would be 5-1 overall if Drexel were to come back and win this game. They would have to take down Monmouth next weekend as well to fully clinch the CAA. Delaware technically would win the CAA with a win today, as Premtaj wins it off the faceoff, passed it off. That's a shot off the crossbar, and Kurtz is denied a goal on that attempt, but it's kept alive by Jason Sider. Robinson took a whack from the long stick, Brendan Greenwald. Powers forced out wide by Kamar. Powers scored a goal from that similar position earlier. Now passes it off. Ward sees a double team, sneaks out of it, and gives it to Kurtz. Kurtz bully ball inside. Kurtz's shot is wide. And it'll stay with Kurtz and the Blue Hens. "15 seconds for the Blue Hens. Ward passed it off. Now with Powers. Powers with 8 seconds. Powers with 5 seconds. Powers with 3 seconds. And a shot clock violation as Drexel takes over. Donnelly to Mulcahy, preseason CAA Offensive Player of the Year. Mulcahy with McCormick on him defensively. It'll stay with the Dragons. That's a shot and a goal from the reigning CAA Offensive Player of the Year. And Mulcahy pulls the Drexel Dragons back within 2 with a little over 6 minutes to play in this third quarter. Here comes Joseph through the heart of the defense after the faceoff. Ball's on the deck, and it's eventually picked up by the Dragons, but given right back and turned over. Owen Grant through 3 defenders, still has it. And now flips it back. Delayed called coming against Drexel. And the Blue Hens could take advantage here and another whistle. And we'll see if these are dueling penalties. Drexel, I believe, seems to think there should be a call coming against the Blue Hens. Perhaps for too many men on one side of the field. It looked like the initial first penalty was going to be against Drexel. So Brian Volker, the head coach for Drexel, waiting for the explanation. So nothing doing either side, and we pick things back up. A jump pass to the far side. Robinson, shake and bake. Now with Jessen. Lost his stick. Oh, a great play by George Grippo. And here come the Dragons. Mick Vicker in the midfield. Has to avoid a couple players, and Owen Grant's with a smart play to come out right near midfield to stop McVicker in his action. Instead, it comes forward in a save from Kilkeary. He passes it up. Now with Kevin McCormick. He'll hand it off for Robinson in the middle of the fields. It was Cam Accioni for a brief moment, and now Robinson's going to back his defender all the way to midfield. Drexel really stretches their defense out, and it's allowed the Blue Hens to use their speed to their advantage. Here's Powers. Late player coming on strong. Pass to the down low area, and Ward didn't have an angle for a shot. Ward with a long stick, trying to use his speed to get past him. Now to Robinson, back to Ward. Approaching 4 minutes to play, third quarter. Powers trying to go bully ball the freshman. Got a short stick Kamar on him. Powers over to Ward. Back inside, touch shot, Miller too high. Sticks with the Blue Hens, who have 10 seconds left on this possession. Ward spins. Ward shoots, saved in front. Powers tried a jump shot off the ricochet, and a long stick for the Dragons will clear on the far side. And it's Greenwald who clears it up. Now the Dragons can go to work. Trailing by 2, under 3.5 to play, third quarter. Mulcahy with it at the moment. Two goals today now puts him at 140 career points. Moving him into 19th place by himself. Mulcahy thought about a shot, went for the fake. Now down low with a short stick on him. Lost the ball. Kilcary's going to pick it up. Motoring across midfield is Aiden Fritz. He'll make the clear for the Blue Hens. Clearing on 91% of their opportunities. Now 12 of 14 today. Ryar Shell, who got the scoring started for the Blue Hens with possession. Didn't see a lot of action last year, but playing in his 12th game in 2023 as he shoots off the post. Oh, Shell thought he had a second. He's denied by the metalwork. And Drexel an opportunity to crawl back into one. It's taken away. Ty Kurtz to Robinson. Extra attacker Ward saved by Blumenthal. A huge save from the Drexel keeper. And you essentially had 3 all-CAA offensive players on an attack. Ward, Robinson, and Kurtz. And Blumenthal standing on his head. Makes his 12th save of the game. And he has been keeping the Dragons in it single-handedly. One minute left in this third quarter. An entertaining quarter that's seen 8 total goals. Here's number 9. No, it's saved in front. I don't know how that one didn't get past Kilcary. Right now, the Blue Hens are trying to clear it up. Grant's going to take it himself as he passes it forward to Robinson. And now with Kohler. 25 seconds left in the quarter. Blue Hens looking for one final opportunity. Behind the net they go. 12 seconds inside. Kurtz couldn't get the shot off. Passes it to Ward. 7 seconds. Ward going inside. And he'll finish it off across the face of the net. And a goal for Ty Kurtz. Kurtz gave it up to Ward, and he dove across the face of the nets. Got it just in time. And J.P. Ward, 26th goal of the season, puts the Blue Hens on top 12-9. As we hit the end of the third quarter, Blue Hens 15 minutes away from a CAA regular season championship attached to their name. We'll have that coming up. You're watching Lacrosse TV. Started off with Ty Kurtz almost losing possession at the last second. Gave it up to J.P. Ward. Superman dive across the face of the nets. And that put the Blue Hens on top 12-9 as we start off this fourth quarter with a violation against Delaware in the face-off circle, leading to Drexel taking over possession to begin the fourth and final quarter. Matt Popelka alongside you here from Delaware Stadium on Lacrosse TV. Game that could decide who hosts the CAA tournament at the end of the season. That shot somehow bounced through everybody, taken by the Blue Hens. Owen Grants is going to flip it forward, but he didn't find anybody in particular. Diving effort from Robinson to keep it alive goes the way of the Dragons. So a failed clear attempt by the Blue Hens. And Drexel gets another crack at things. They trail by 3 after they scored 4 goals in that third quarter. Kilcarry with a save in front. He's been quiet today. Just his 6th save in 15 attempts. On the other side of things, Blumenthal with 12 saves today. His team might be trailing, but Blumenthal has kept them in this game. He's made a few fantastic ones, including one late in that third quarter, where there was Ward, Kurtz, and Robinson in a 3-on-2 break. And Blumenthal made a dead-eye save right in front. And he can't make it there. Ty Kurtz walks himself in front of the nets and does a little jump shot over top of Blumenthal. And the Blue Hens have their largest lead of the afternoon. It's 13-9. Kurtz with his 43rd goal of the season. Second in the nation coming into today in that category. The ball's up in the air. Premtaj is going to take it. And Logan Premtaj missed the first 8 games of the season. He's now starting to settle in that face-off circle. 152% of his face-offs in his last 4 games, but he's under 500 today. Jessen with a lot of speed. Jessen's shot is wide. And we've seen his ability to shoot from distance and find the back of the nets already today. Ward got a screen from Accioni, who hit the deck and returned the pass in time. Ward tracked a double team, touch pass inside, and Accioni finishes it off, but the passing is on display for the Blue Hens today. Ward and Kurtz play a 2-man game. Accioni frees himself right on the front doorstep. And it's easy peasy lemon squeezy for Cam Accioni, who has his 13th goal of the season. Premtaj and Joseph duel off in the face-off circle. Spears almost had it. Still up for grabs. It's now taken by Drexel and by George Grippo. Drexel gets it across, trailing by 5, their largest deficit of the game today. As the Blue Hens have outscored the Dragons 7-4 in this second half. Curcio trying to scoot past. He left it off. And a nice shot from Connor Hooley, who went low in between the legs of Kilcarry to get one back for the Dragons. Nice feed inside. That was actually Zach Augustine, who found a cutting hot Connor Hooley through the middle of the Delaware zone. That's how Drexel scores for the first time in this fourth quarter. Thirteenth goal of the season for Hooley, the two-time CAA Rookie of the Week this year. Couple of nice fakes from Liam Kamar to free himself as he passed it off to Max Semple. Drexel trying to score in back-to-back possessions. Tomac with it. Passed it up top. Spinning away from his defenders, Waller. Attracts his second, though. Casey Waller thought about a shot. Working against the long stick of Tate Wasson. And that's saved in front from Kilcarry. Reed Kurtz will clear it across, pass it over to brother Ty. Blue Hens more than willing to eat some time on this possession. Blue Hens lost possession. Blumenthal with the ground ball pickup. Now the Dragons clear. Fire it to the far side. Jumping up to catch that one and keeping it alive was Mulcahy. As we are under 10 minutes to play, Drexel still trailing by 4. Scandone with it. Passed it off. Nice spin move. Coming inside. Knocked from behind. Oh, a great defensive play from the Blue Hens. And it looked like the freshman Hooley was in on his own. Instead, the Blue Hens are able to knock it from behind, make a clear attempt, and now have an opportunity. Here's Kohler trying to get around his defender. Jason Kohler finishes it off. And a hat trick for Jason Kohler, who had just 4 goals in 11 games last year. Now has 9 goals in his last 4 games. And that puts the Blue Hens back on top by 5. A push But Justin Joseph on Premtash will give the Blue Hens possession. And they have an opportunity to not only cut some time off this game clock, but also put this one out of reach. 15-10, Delaware on top. This is the first time the Blue Hens have allowed more than 9 goals in a CAA game this season. But even these 10 goals have really felt tough to come by if you're the Dragons. Now with Robinson. Not many times Mike Robinson has to work against a short stick. Now here comes the long stick as he passes it off. Nice scoop from Kurtz, who shoots and is saved from Blumenthal. Blumenthal has more than held his own today. 13 saves on the game for the senior out of Baltimore, but unless his offense can score another 5 goals in the last 7 minutes, not unheard of for the Dragons, but they average just 12 goals a game on this season. So it will require a little more effort than what they're used to putting up on the boards so far. But Blumenthal would drop to 1-4 against the Blue Hens in his career, as that one is a goal from Tomac, who fought through a couple of Blue Hens defenders, and now he has a hat trick. So 1 goal back for Drexel, trying to make a comeback late stages, 4th quarter. Also is going to start here in the faceoff circle, won by Justin Joseph. He's going to keep coming forward. Justin Joseph! Face-off, get off, scoring, and Drexel is back within 3. Won the face-off, avoided Premtaj, and then is able to beat Kilcarry. And back-to-back goals by the Dragons in quick succession. 2nd goal of the season for Joseph. He was looking to win it again, almost did so. The Dragons came across the line too early. Semple thought he was able to pick it up. All the way on the field is Volker, the head coach. And the Blue Hens clear it back the other way. Volker's still on the field looking for an explanation. Now the Blue Hens can really calm things down. Goal here would be huge for the momentum as it's starting to turn towards the Dragons. Nice play defensively. That's the long stick of Patrick Udovic. And it's a turnover. McVicker with it as he has it knocked out of his stick. And it's turned back over to the Blue Hens. Under 6 minutes to play. So Blue Hens get a fresh 80 seconds. And unless they get a open shot, got to believe the Blue Hens are going to take this time down. Ward taking on some wax from the long stick of Udovic, passed it off. Now Robinson. On the near side, passes behind the cage to Ryar Shell. Shell shoots, Shell scores! I don't know how he got that angle down, but he's able to beat Blumenthal and give the Blue Hens a 4-goal cushion once again. working from behind the cage. He's able to go 5-hole on Blumenthal. And Shell has a 2-goal game to his name. And the last home game of the 2023 regular season. 6th goal of the season for the sophomore. As the Dragons win the faceoff and are pushing ahead. Shot in front, Kilcarry, a big save. Ewing cleared it, now passed it off to Jason Kohler. Now with under 5 minutes to play, Blue Hens with possession and a 4-goal cushion. $12 goals, the most the Blue Hens have given up since a loss at Johns Hopkins back on March 19th. As this defense has really held strong. On the other side, it's been a while since the Dragons have given up this many goals. March 11th against St. Joseph's, they won 18-16 in a really high-scoring affair. Kohler shoots. Kohler scores! Oh, the Blue Hens are finding the back of the net from all angles. I don't know how Jason Kohler is able to find the back of the net with that shot. But with 3:58 to play, that might just push the Blue Hens over the top. Kohler with his 4th goal of the game, as he has been an offensive force for the Blue Hens today. Kohler's got 4 goals today. That is a new career high for the sophomore. Scored 2 against Hampton earlier this season. That tied his career high. But 4 goals today in a game that could clinch the Blue Hens spots as the host of the CAA tournaments, crown them the champs, and keep them undefeated in conference play. Blue Hens have started to put some of their backups in. Right now, Jake DeMar, the senior from Illinois, getting some run. He's got possession at the moment. Here comes DeMar. DeMar, his shot goes wide. He's going to stick with the Blue Hens. 9 seconds left on the clock. As Ward goes spinning, almost lost it. Kept alive, passed inside, backdoor, Kurtz! There's the nail in the coffin. Ty Kurtz puts away the Dragons. And with 2:34 to play, it's all but said and done from Delaware Stadium. Hold against the Dragons off the face-off, and the Blue Hens will take over possession. Drexel will now lose their second game in a row for the first time in 2023. They have one more game in the regular season. They take on Monmouth on April 28th next weekend. That is their final CAA game of the season as well. And it represents an opportunity for the Drexel Dragons to stay within striking distance of the Blue Hens, but more importantly, try and hold their spot as the second seed in the conference tournaments, with Stony Brook and Towson coming into today both at 3-2. Stony Brook had Fairfield today at 12 o'clock. Towson, meanwhile, is in Jersey at Monmouth. That game about to start with a 2:30 first face-off. Little extracurriculars on the field at the moment. Blue Hens just have to get through the next minute 21. And they will be crowned champions of the CAA unofficially. Stony Brook in Fairfield right now has Stony Brook on top 16-14 with 7 minutes left in that contest. Under a minute to play here at Delaware Stadium. The Blue Hens, meanwhile, will be on the road taking on the Towson Tigers on April 29th, as that is an opportunity for the Blue Hens to finish off a perfect CAA regular season and clinch the regular season crown. Win today also pushes the Blue Hens to double digits, as Ben DeLuca in his 6th season will have 10-plus wins in his last 3 seasons at the helm of the Blue Hens. Delaware wins one final face-off, and they're going to be able to run out the final 30 seconds. It was back and forth in the first quarter. Blue Hens held the Dragons without a goal over the final 12 minutes and 20 seconds of the first half, as they were up 7-5 going into halftime. And then they outscored the Drexel Dragons 11-8 in this second half, as Jason Kohler has a new career-high 4 goals. He finishes with 5 points to lead the Blue Hens offense. J.P. Ward with 4 points and 2 goals. Ty Kurtz with 2 goals. Accioni with 2 himself, as does Robinson and Ryar Shell, as the Blue Hens are able to finish off the Drexel Dragons 18-13 and clinch the 2023 CAA regular season, as they are the champions of the Colonial in 2023. Blue Hens are now 10-3 overall, 6-0 in conference play, looking for a perfect season next week at Towson. Drexel, meanwhile, drops to 7-5, losing 2 games in a row for the first time in 2023, and they're now 4-2 in conference play. Once again, thank you for joining us here on Lacrosse TV. My name is Matt Papelka, saying so long, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday.